Peace, peace, peace. I'm Rami Salam El, and I thank you for joining us. Let's get right into it. Much love to you for watching. If you're not ready for truth, if you're not willing to open your mind to a different perspective, and be willing to accept that perspective upon new information, then just don't watch anymore, because this video isn't for you. This channel isn't for you. The information that I am presenting is not for people that are unwilling or unable to change their mind about something. So with that being said, just hit that X. Cool. So you with me? Much love. Let's get right to it. Got a lot to discuss. We're talking about, and I know if you seen the video title, you're thinking Moors versus Europeans. Oh, it's going down. Nah, you got fooled. This is about unity. This is about love. And this is about truth. And peace and freedom and justice. So, boom. Islam in America. James Smith. Islam for Dummies, which is in that book mentions Noble Drew Ali. Islam for Dummies by Malcolm Clark. Moorish Spain. This doesn't, I don't think, mention Noble Drew Ali specifically, but talks all about Moorish Spain and all of our history. Moorish Spain, Richard Fletcher. The author for The Quest for El Cid. Interesting. And then we also have a couple books, and I have one more somewhere around here, from Peter Moon. And if you can see on the cover there, you know who that is, Noble Drew Ali. Now, the thing in common with all of those books, they're all by European people. And with that being said, let's get right into the literature from the Moorish Science Temple of America. Noble Drew Ali being the founder and the only prophet for these days and times, right? We're going to get right into Prophet Drew Ali Speaks to the Nations. Going right down here. If the Europeans and other nations are helping me, why not you? It is your problem. Speaking to us. If the Europeans are helping Noble Drew Ali, why aren't you? Hold on for a minute. See, because we got an issue here with people saying that Europeans cannot join the Moorish Science Temple of America and blah, 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 blah. Noble Drew Ali is saying that Europeans are helping them. Maybe you should be less concerned about what other people are doing and more concerned about yourself and your actions. You know, it's a Bible verse about that. Why do you notice the speck in my eye and not the log in your own? It's a very good one. Let's continue though, because we got a lot to get through. I don't want to take too much time. Want to put this on the record. It is the great God Allah alone who guides the destiny of this divine and national movement. Great God Allah. We're going to come back to that. That's important. Just wanted to put that on the record. Hold on. We got something for you. Here we are. Yes. Yeah. Boom. Okay. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Okay, boom. Here we go. This picture is the likeness of Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is serving humanity. He's serving humanity. Go look up humanity. Go look up the definition. Then understand who Noble Drew Ali is serving. We continue. Coming as he does with the message for the nations, plural, in somewhat the same manner as did Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, and other prophets of their day. Only the things of this prophet's day differ from the ills of the days of the past, and yet the remedy for the ills of today is about the same as the remedies for the days past. All turning about the pivot love. Love for humanity. Once again, look up that word humanity and see what it says. Humanity must be lifted from the unwholesome depths of poverty, misery, and suffering and placed on the solid rock of salvation. Humanity must be lifted up. Okay. Oh, and now I want to get, well, actually, I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to hold on to that. We're going to come back to that. The last thing that I want to read is the Moorish leaders' historical message to America. We're going to come back to what is Islam. Just understand it. We're coming to that. In connection with the aims, objects, rules, and regulations of the Moorish Science Temple of America, I deem it proper to submit to you a brief statement about our organization, covering its inception, rise, and progress, and of the Mohammedan religion. Furthermore, boom. We organized as the Moorish Temple of Science in the year 1925 and were legally incorporated as a civic organization under the laws of the state of Illinois, November 29, 1926. The name Moorish Temple of Science changed to the Moorish Science Temple of America, May 1928. Here we go. The object, listen closely. The object of our organization is to help in the great program of uplifting fallen humanity. The organization is to help with the uplifting of fallen humanity. That's what the Moorish Science Temple of America is about. And to teach those things necessary to make our members better citizens. It doesn't say to make Moors better citizens. It doesn't say to make Moorish Americans better citizens. It says members. Members of what? The Moorish Science Temple of America. And what is the temple? What is the Moorish Science Temple of America for? The uplifting of fallen humanity. Let's get that drilled into our heads. Make sure that we got that. Yeah, that was everything in this part. Yep, no, that's it. We're going to come back to what is Islam. Before I do, I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Sorry, I got a lot of thoughts jumbling in my head, so I want to try to get everything down and recorded. So boom, we have some general statements about the Moorish Science Temple of America from the Moorish literature, which every temple should be giving out to any member, any person who wants the information. But I want to ask some questions. Can any Moor or Moorish American Muslim, Moorish national, follower of Noble Drew Ali, whatever title, Grand Sheikh, Grand Governor, Grand Chairman, whatever name you want to give yourself, can any of you cite anywhere in this scripture, in this literature, in the Quran questions, in the oral statements and prophecies? What else? I think that's everything I got right now, but can any of you state in any of that information where Noble Drew Ali says specifically, Europeans cannot join the Moorish Science Temple of America? Don't worry, I'll wait. I don't think you're going to be able to find it because it doesn't exist. And mind you, if I'm incorrect and somebody says, here it is, Rami, it's right here on such and such page, such and such and such and such. You know what? I'll make a video. I was wrong. Hey, this is what it says. I may not agree with it, but this is the information. This is the fact of the matter. But if you can't find it, don't say that. Stop trying to lie and manipulate things and make it seem as though this Moorish Science Temple of America is discriminating against certain nations of people. Because that's not what this is about. It's for the upliftment of fallen humanity. Okay? Second question. And that's the other thing, is that I always hear people say, Oh, well, it says in the Quran that everyone should worship under their own vine and fig tree. Or it says, what is the other one? Acts 6 and yeah, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree. Oh no, and that we as a clear and pure nation descended, we don't desire to amalgamate or mix in with the pale skinned families of Europe, blah 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 blah. Citing those lines is not saying, is not proof of Noble Drew Ali saying Europeans cannot join the Moorish Science Temple of America. And it's a falsehood, and it's dishonest, and it's unrighteous to try to manipulate those pieces of the Quran and apply your fucked up, for lack of a better word, your messed up perspective on this, because that's not what this is about. Excuse me for cursing, but this is kind of upsetting to me, because it's a lot of people that are claiming that they're Moors and they follow Noble Drew Ali and that they're about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and they are repeating the same cycle that we've been going through, where you seem to think that there's a certain group of people that are higher up above another group of people, and that's not what it is. It's not, or that we're separate people. That's not the truth, man. We are not a separate people. We may have different nationalities and we have different cultures in that respect, but when it gets down to the nitty gritty, we are all one. All children of Allah, Most High, God, Yahweh, Jah, the Creator, the All, whatever name you want to give it. Let me continue. The other question I had was, oh, there we go. How many drops of blood do you have to have in you to be a European? Or how many drops of blood do you have to have in you to be a Moor? Please, if you're going to try to split this up and say, well, Europeans are not Moors and they can't join the Moorish Science Temple, well, explain to me how you can tell the difference between a European and a Moorish person, or an Asiatic, for some people that are trying to make this distinction. How do you tell the difference? How much blood? And who's doing the testing, by the way? Is that somewhere in the Quran that they were supposed to do that? Please let me know. Again, if it is, I was wrong. Here it says on page such and such in chapter, boom, we got to test everybody. And if you got 164th European, then you're a European. Sorry, you can't join. If that's the truth, just show it to me. I don't think you're going to find it. I don't think that's the truth. Actually, I think it's really silly to think that we're... let me not get into that. But again, if you have the proof, please show it. Or just answer the question. And while you think about that, we're going to cut to this clip and we're going to come right back and get into the spiritual side of things. Because, on a basic level, there's nothing in the literature that I've seen, in any of the literature that I've studied, and I'm talking, I've got, well, I don't find it right now, but I have I have all the documents from the Schomburg Center, which is, supposed to be, the one place that has all of the quote-unquote African-American history and blah, blah, blah. Got the Quran, the Moorish literature, the 101s, the prophecies, and oral statements. And I've never seen any of that. I've never seen Europeans cannot join the Moorish Science Temple of America. Not once. Period. Please show it to me if it exists. But let's cut to the clip and we'll come back.
Scared to deal with this right here. The nature of the European, of the white man. Where do he come from? And how was he created, according to your understanding?
Well, well, let's look at the work of Charles Finch, Francis Cress Welsing, Dr. Richard King, Dr. Carol Barnes. But more than that, let's go to biology and let's go to science. And let's look at the human organism. And let's look at the role that the sun plays in the lives of the human organism. And let's look at an organism that is born in a very hot climate by Glosier's law. Glosier's law says for an entity to be able to survive as organic life, it has to be born in a warm and temperate zone. In this warm and temperate zone, the human family born in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania is born, it nurtures itself, it educates itself. It begins to eat better. When it eats better, it thinks better. When it thinks better, it eats better. But in its reproduction, it reproduces itself in such numbers that now it's too crowded. So the human family starts to move. They move north, they move south, they move northwest, they move over into Eurasia, into Asia. Dr. Cheikh Anta Diop, Civilizational Barbarism Part 1, talks about the development of the African that moves out of Africa into Europe and then moves into north of the 51st parallel, which literally would cut Ireland in half, it cuts England in half, it goes across Germany, Holland, straight across Asia. When you look at a map, there's a mountain that goes from one side to the other side that is almost like a polar cap that locks anyone in the 51st parallel in. There are 4 ice ages. There's the Gunz Ice Age, Mindel, Riss, and Worm. We don't worry about the first 3 according to Dr. Diop. We only worry about the last one because that's when the human family had moved and migrated into this part of the world. Ice Age hit. Temperatures dipped down into 800 degrees below zero, sometimes 400 degrees below zero, and it lasts for generations, for thousands of years. There are generations of Africans that never saw the sun. It was only a mythological figure. It was at its best what it looks like on a cloudy day. This African, being born in this area, goes in the caves and puts on clothes because it's cold, just like we do right now. When it's summertime, in about 3 months, we're going to be out here and we're going to have tank top and shorts and everything else. Right now, we got all this on. The African finds himself in this cold region, is extremely cold. In your skin, in your epidermis, you have 5 layers. You have what's called the stratum corneum, the stratum luciderm, the stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum, and the stratum basale. In the bottom 2 layers, the basale and the spinosum, you have a biochemical known as 7-dehydrocholesterol. It sits in that epidermis, those parts of your epidermis. When the sun hits your skin, the light and heat energy is absorbed by this dark matter. It converts inactive D1, D2 into active D3. That is what is then shot throughout the entire organic body, and that's what begins to absorb calcium to bring the necessary things into existence for this human body to live. This dark complexion in the warm sunlight is natural suntan lotion. But in the cold, it stops the sunlight from getting in. So this human organism, black of skin, dark brown of skin, begins to depigment itself. Dr. Richard King says it takes 16 generations for a black person to become pale. So over all these years, this African now, in order to be able to derive the sunlight, begins to depigment itself. There is in your hair, in all of your hair follicles, there's a sebaceous gland. In the sebaceous gland, there is an oil known as the sebum. The sebum is released. They're little packets that explode in your skin, and it sends an oil up through your body. And in the scalp, in the heat, it protects the head from the harmful rays of the sun. Otherwise, you get scalp cancer. In Australia, in Melanesia, but all across the globe, children can be brought out looking like many different types, because that DNA structure deep within can always produce what's called the archetype. The archetype is the African. The African produced every form of human being on the planet, but no other form of human being can produce an African.
Now, I'm saying, it's a good explanation of what you're talking about.
Yeah. See, my thing is to deal with science. Get out of the emotional thing.
Science is exact.
And it can and you can follow it back into what we actually call, when you're looking at something, you can follow it so that it makes sense. When you get emotional, you begin to bring elements into the discussion that become opinion, and then opinions can be proven wrong, and then normally when an opinion is proven wrong, then someone's going to say everything you say is wrong. But if you stay scientific, if you look at the depigmentation process, and just look at us, the complexion that we are right now is not what we're going to look like in August. And we're going to get dark. No matter how dark you are, you're going to get darker in the presence of the sun. As you begin to go into the colder climate, you're going to lose that suntan. Now imagine this African entity over thousands of years never having warmth of the sunlight. So it's a constant depigmentation process that is going to create what is called in science the Cro-Magnon. But that's not the Eurasian we see today. The Eurasian we see today is after these Eurasians left the northern climate, after the worm glaciation ended and they began to come back across to the southern lands. They came back not only with a depigmented skin, they came back with what's known as a calcified pineal gland. Calcified pineal gland, a healthy pineal gland looked like a grape. A calcified pineal gland looked like a raisin. Okay, a raisin is all of the liquids sucked out of the grape. That's why it's called sun-dried. Okay, they came back with a warped mentality.
That's like a raisin in the sun.
Yeah, and
black sun.
Yes, and they come back with this concept, right? And so what they do is they forbid themselves to ever mate with the archetype. The first thing all of them should have done was found the biggest, blackest person to mate with in order to return back to the archetype. But what they did is they created xenophobic laws that forbid them. So they only mated with each other, so that the Eurasian we know today is not a mutation. It is a mutation of a mutation.
Okay, now let me ask you this.
All right, now let's get to the spiritual side of things. First, I'm going to just get into the Quran, Circle 7, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Let's get right into it. I'm going to just, like, I have a bunch of different ones, and this is already getting longer than I expected, so I'm going to just read them and try to make a few little comments every time I read it. The lessons of this pamphlet are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. The lessons in here are not for sale, but for the sake of humanity. Not for Moorish Americans. It doesn't say Moorish Americans, or just Moors, or just so-called black people. It says humanity. Go look it up if you don't know. And it also says that these lessons are for all those who love Jesus. Not all Moors who love Jesus. All those people who love Jesus. So if Europeans love Jesus, these lessons are for them. Right? Unless I'm misunderstanding something. If I am, please let me know. Okay. All right. Let's continue. Page 13. Page 13, lines 11 through 13. And this is in chapter 8. And it says... And when man honors man, he honors Allah. And what man does for man, he does for Allah. And you must bear in mind that when man harms in thought or word or deed another man, he does a wrong to Allah. If you would serve Allah who speaks within the heart, just serve your near of kin and those who are no kin, the stranger at your gates, the foe who seeks to do you harm. Assist the poor and help the weak. Do harm to none and covet not what is yours. Leave it right there. We'll go to page 16, which is chapter 10, lines 9 and 10, then 13 and 19, and then 22. Now men and birds and beasts and creepy things are deities made flesh. And how dare you kill anything? It is cruelty that makes the world awry. When men have learned that when they harm a living thing, they harm themselves, they surely will not kill nor cause a thing that Allah has made to suffer pain. Now we get into this real. This is the real right here. All people worship Allah, the One, but all the people see Him not alike. This universal Allah is wisdom, will, and love. Love, especially. All men see not the true in Allah. One sees Him as Allah of might, another as Allah of thought, another as Allah of love. A man's ideal is his God, and so as man unfolds, his God unfolds. Man's God today, tomorrow is not God. The nations of the earth see Allah from different points of view, and so He does not seem the same to everyone. The nations of the earth see Allah from different points of view, and so he does not seem, very key, he does not seem the same to everyone. Man names the part of Allah he sees, and this to him is all of Allah. Every nation sees a part of Allah, and every nation has a name for Allah. You Brahmins call him Padabrahm. In Egypt, he is Thoth. And Zeus is his name in Greece. Jehovah is his Hebrew name. But everywhere, this is key right here, everywhere he is the causeless cause, the rootless root from which all things have grown. Interesting. The rootless root from which all things have grown. All things like a vine and fig tree, perhaps. And if Allah is the rootless root, if he is God, not even he, if Allah is the root, the origin, of all things, right? The rootless root of all things, then it doesn't matter what vine or what fig tree you are under, because it's all connected to the same one, correct? Let's continue. Let's continue. Did I get to 22? Oh, okay, boom. Last one here. And when man sees Allah as one with him, as Father Allah, he needs no middleman, no priest to intercede. And I like this line because I just love this line personally. And this, he goes straight up to Allah, to him, and says, "My Father God Allah." And then he lays his hands in Allah's own hand, and all is well. And this is Allah. You are each one a priest just for yourself. Hold on. Let's go down to page 31 real quick. Matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna go to page. We're gonna keep reading. And we're gonna come back to what is Islam. Page 31, line 27, 29, and 30. This is chapter 19. 27. The problem of the age has been solved. A son of man has risen from the dead, has shown that human flesh can be transformed into flesh divine. Not Moorish flesh, not Moorish American flesh, human flesh. Understand? Excuse me. To you I come, the first of all of the race, to be transmuted to the image of Allah. What I have done, all men will do. And what I am, all men shall be. And that's Jesus speaking, by the way. This is again the Quran. All men. What Jesus did, all men shall do. What Jesus says, all men shall be. All men, not Moorish men, not only Moors and not Europeans, not all Asiatic men, all men. Okay, let's continue. Page 42, which is chapter 35. Oh, here we go. There is but one Allah. There is but one. The author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. There is only one. There's only one Allah. We are all worshiping the same God, whether we call it the same thing or not, if you're being true. Now, if you're worshiping, gods that man made up, and that are just myths, well, then that's that. But it's only one. So when people say everyone shall worship under their own vine and fig tree, worship what? The same God. Okay, let's continue. Page 57. We almost done. I know we're getting up there. I'm trying to cut this before 30 minutes. 57, line 7 is chapter 35? Yeah. Exhale. No. 45. Yeah, 45, excuse me. Yes. Line 7. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca. The Turks, as in people from Turkey. I want you to Google something for me. Is Turkey in Europe? Just check it out. I'm going to keep reading. Then we're going to move down to lines 5, 8, and 9. Yeah. This is chapter 46. The holy teaching of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust. The common people, not to Moors, not to Moorish Americans, not to so-called blacks only, to the common people. To redeem them from, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. There's plenty of poor European people. If you weren't aware, please look it up. And then we go to lines 8 and 9. The lamb is the poor people, and the lion is the rulers and the rich. And through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, all men are one and equal to seek their own destiny and to worship under their own vine and fig tree, after the principles of the holy and divine laws of their forefathers. And all nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace, but there is but one true and divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the creed, the 5 grand principles of the Moorish Science Temple of America and Moorish Americans, is to be taught universally to all nations in all lands. It does not say except for European nations or except for the pale-skinned nations. It doesn't say love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice can't be taught to the Europeans or the pale-skinned nations of Europe. It doesn't say that anywhere in this book. Okay. 58. We on the last little bit. 58, 10, and 11. Boom. And this goes back to the Turks, so pay attention. This is chapter 47. What your ancient forefathers were, you are today without doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his powers extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. So, unless your power is beyond that of Allah, you can't change the descendant nature of man. Go look up Europe, or go look up Turkey. See that it borders along what's known as Europe, the continent of Europe, which is still Asia. And if you look up the history of Turks, and you look who they descended from, okay, and you can't change the descendant nature of European people, of any man. You can't do it. Unless you're trying to say that you are God. You are Allah. Like the totality. And you're not. So let's cool it. I think that was all I wanted to read from here. Yeah, because I wanted to really speak on this fact.
Saturday, sovereign, super, natural, state, master, title track, Muhammad Ali, Mumia, Mahatma. The power of a good name is very important. Tucson, Lovejoy, Noble Jew, Marcus, El Hard, Shabazz, Tupac, and Asada. Jesus Sojourner, Gil Scott, the Reverend Dr. King, Imam Jamil, the Angel Gabriel, Black Dog, the Black Panther Party, Zulu Nation. And what did this young man say his name is? Yasin.
Saturday, sovereign, super, natural, state, master, title track, Muhammad Ali, Mumia, Mahatma. The power of a good name is very important. Tucson, Lovejoy, Noble Jew, Marcus, El Hard, Shabazz, Tupac, and Asada. Jesus Sojourner, Gil Scott, the Reverend Dr. King, Imam Jamil, the Angel Gabriel, Black Dog, the Black Panther Party, Zulu Nation. And what did this young man say his name is? Yasin.
All right, now I'm finna close up. I just got a couple more things to read. The Circle 7 Quran should have made it very clear that this movement, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, the temple is for all nations, and the information is to be taught to all nations in all lands to uplift all of humanity, not just Moorish Americans, not just Moors, not just so-called black people, not just Asiatics, not everyone but European people. No, it's for humanity. Again, go look it up if you don't know what the word means. Don't try to put your opinion of the word as the definition, saying it's man. No, a man with hue. No. Humanity has a definition. It has a meaning, not something that you put on top of that meaning. Go look it up for yourself. All right. But before I get to what is Islam, I want to read something from a very important man named Malcolm X, also known as El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz. And this is page 347 in the chapter entitled Mecca. America needs to understand Islam because this is the one religion that erases from its society the race problem. Throughout my travels in the Muslim world, I have met, talked to, and eaten with people who in America would have been considered, quote-unquote, white. But the quote-unquote white attitude was removed from their minds by the religion of Islam. I have never before seen sincere and true brotherhood practiced by all colors together, irrespective of their color. You may be shocked by these words coming from me, but on this pilgrimage, what I have seen and experienced has forced me to rearrange much of my thought patterns previously held, and to toss aside some of my previous conclusions. Did you hear that? Despite my firm convictions, this was not too difficult for me. Despite my firm convictions, I have been always a man who tries to face facts and to accept the reality of life as new experience and new knowledge unfolds it. I have always kept an open mind, which is necessary to the flexibility that must go hand in hand with every form of intelligent search for truth. Seek the truth and it shall make you free. Intelligently, meaning keep an open mind. With that, when El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz went to Mecca and saw Islam being practiced, it wasn't all the Muslims except for the pale-skinned nations of Europe are allowed to come to Mecca. It wasn't all the nations except for European nations are able to come to Mecca and worship. No. Everyone is a brother. We're all brothers and sisters in the true sense, beyond this flesh, beyond this which is finite, beyond this which will pass away. The true self within all of our human bodies is all connected by the one. Okay? It's very simple. And with all of that, I wanted to read what is Islam, because Malcolm already showed you in the Quran, Circle 7, it lets you know that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is the way that peace is going to be had in this nation. So it's very clear that peace is Islam, teaching our principles, is how we're going to have peace in all nations and all lands, and not being discriminatory on who can get the teachings and who cannot. But I want to read exactly what Islam is, because it gets to the real root of it all. Islam is a very simple faith. It requires man to recognize his duties toward God Allah, his creator, and his fellow creatures. It teaches the supreme duty of living at peace with one's surroundings. It is preeminently the religion of peace. The very name Islam means peace. The goal of a man's life according to Islam is peace with everything. Peace with Allah and peace with man. Peace with Allah and peace with man. Not just peace. It didn't say peace with Moors. That's not what Islam is. It didn't just say peace with Asiatics. That's not what Islam is. It didn't say peace with everybody but European people. No, no, no. Peace with Allah and man. Man as in all of men. Humankind. Humanity. The Quran, the holy book of Islam, tells us that the final abode of man is the house of peace, where no vain word or sinful discourse will be heard. The holy divine prophet, Noble Drew Ali, says that a follower of Islam, in the true sense of the word, is one whose hands, tongue, and thoughts do not hurt others. The object of a man's life, according to Islam, is its complete unfoldment. Islam teaches that man is born with unlimited capacities for progress. Islam does not support the idea that man was born in sin. It teaches that everyone has within him the seed of perfect development, and it rests solely within himself to make or mar his fortune. It teaches that everyone has the perfect seed, or the seed of perfect development, excuse me. The cardinal doctrine of Islam is the unity of the Father Allah. We believe in one God, Allah, who is all God, all mercy, and all powerful. He is perfect and holy, all wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. Man, no, let me go ahead and finish the rest. All wisdom, all knowledge, and all truth. There are some of his great attributes. These are some of his great attributes so far as we can understand. He is free from all defects, holy and transcendent. He is personal to us insofar as we see his attributes working for us and in us, but he is nevertheless impersonal, because he is infinite, perfect, and holy. We do not believe that death, decay, or sleep overtake him. Neither do we believe that he is helplessly inactive and inert force. Nothing happens without his knowledge and will. He neither begets nor is he begotten, because these are the trials and frail and of weak humanity. This unity of Allah is the first and foremost pillar of Islam, and every other belief hangs upon it. In conclusion, the Moorish Science Temple of America and Moors and Moorish Americans, we want peace with all people and all nations in all lands. We are not for war, we are not for destruction, we are not for fighting against our brother, be it a darker complexion brother or a lighter or a pale complexion brother. Yes, the people in Europe, the European nations, those are our brothers and sisters also. This is the truth. We have to stop this Moors versus Europeans, black versus white. That cycle has been going on for far too long. And this movement, Noble Drew Ali, the Quran, the information that he brought, is designed to bring us all together, to unite Asia. And I'm not talking about the continent of Asia. That's actually referring to the world being at one time known as Asia. So it's the uniting of the world, and not the world except for pale-skinned Europeans. All people, humanity. I made a video earlier asking, damn, I'm already way past my time, but we're going to try to cut it in time, 43 minutes. I made a video asking about what does uplift, fall, and humanity mean? What do those three words mean? Uplift, fall, and humanity. Just look it up. Then when you have the definition of those words, read it again and understand what it's truly saying. We are to morally and spiritually influence and uplift all of humanity that has fell into sin, into darkness. That's what we are here to do. It's just that simple. And you cannot do that. You cannot help uplift people if you are if you don't have love in your heart and love for all men, all of men, all nations, and all people in all lands, because that's the first principle, love. Then it's followed by truth. Gotta have the love in it. And understand, and please understand this, beyond these bodies, we are all the same. We are all brothers and sisters working our way to connect back with Allah. We failed. We debased ourselves. We tore ourselves away from Allah. That's how we ended up here. In order to get back, we need to attach ourselves back. We do that with love. When you harm another man, you harm Allah. Remember that. Remember that when you talk about European people, you call them crackers, and you call them honkies, and you call them all of these disrespectful things. Oh, but they did that, and see, that's not what it's about. You're supposed to return to the one that does you wrong, your purest love, and it'll heal them as much as it heals you. This is what it's really about. Love thy enemy. Go listen to Martin Luther King's Jr. speech about, or no, forgive thy enemy. Go listen to that. Go see what he says, and when he's speaking about what Jesus said, he didn't say like your enemy, but we must love our enemy, because love is that it's the energy, it's the force that can transform someone. Love alone, because love is Allah. God is love. Love is God. It's really that simple. But I've been talking enough. It's time to close this up. Much love to you. And if you watch this all and you're still saying, well, I don't trust European people, and I don't feel the European people can be in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And mind you, I didn't say, forget it, I don't even want to go there. But if you feel that way, if you feel Europeans can't join the Moorish Science Temple of America, if you feel that, European people are the devil, and that, to hell with them all, blah, anything like that, please unfollow me, block me, don't watch another video from me, because it's obvious that we are not on the same path. I am truly about loving every single person. See, it's not a game for me. Whether you believe this or not, that's what I'm about, because that's what the information, that's what the prophet instructed us to be, at least instructed me to be about, to love instead of hate. So I'm following the instructions, because this is supposed to be coming from Allah, right? So, I'm not going to play around with it. You can if you will, if you want, but I know when this time is up for me, I don't want to be, on that judgment day and being asked, well, why wasn't you about love? We made it just super clear, love, and said, hey, what was the problem? Uplift fallen humanity. What was the confusion? I don't want to be nah. I tried, I did my best. That's what I want to be able to say. To do more good than harm. That's what I'm about. So if you're with that, much love. I appreciate you. Let's build together. Let's uplift humanity. And that goes for Moors and European people. You know what I mean? And Asians and anyone else. If you're about uplifting humanity, I'm with you. We are family. We are brothers and sisters. Let's do it together. If you're not, to you be your way, and to us be our way. You know what I mean? Much love. I still love you. I still have compassion for you, and I hope that you will be guided back on the right path. But I don't have the power to help guide you. That's for Allah to do. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Much love. Keep shining. Yeah, that's all I got. But much love, especially the love. Gotta have the love in it, all right? Peace.
Hey, yeah. One love to J. Cole. Dreamville. This rare. From the heart. I'm talking to you cold, I'm talking to you cold. I know that you was listening, it's coming from the soul. Respect for what you doing, skills already know. It's time to get this work and deliver from the O. AKs in our land, metaphorically killing, proving we vicious in 2016. Tell me we getting, like I'm on this about the media spinning, making heroes and villains. You study Common Johns, my nigga, I know you get it. With great power come hella responsibility. Instead of killing niggas, you could be healing niggas. Lower self, higher self, I know you feelin', nigga. I ain't no animal, you ain't gotta be a gorilla, nigga. Love the Marshawn, need an angel mode, feel me? Shout out my man Illyville, know it back to the story. Heard false prophets, it was sad. See, I thought you was real, but niggas playing mad. Hard pro is cool, but I'm plugged into this real shit. Please don't tell me that you just too scared to deal with. See all you rappers and revolutionaries, academic politicians, most of y'all is hella scary. Let me focus, Jermaine, let me focus, Jermaine. Black and white is the game, Drew Ali is the name. See, he was born in the soil that you grew up in. Fuck being clever with syllables, nigga, talk about him. See, he was born in the soil that you grew up in. Fuck being clever with syllables, nigga, talk about him.
See, he was born in the soil that you grew up in. Fuck being clever with syllables.
Piece of nausea, had the coldest of the lines. Love the J-elect, common ghost with the rhymes. Shot the N.O., that's a real nigga slime. But only one brother put it all on the line. Y'all seen, ain't it funny that I'm coming from the bay? It's static, back cover, I ain't coming here to play. Rock Nation, say this humbly, we can't afford to wait. I'm pleading with you, God, don't let us down, Jay, no way. Woo. I'm pleading with you, God, don't let us down, Jay, no way.